Okay guys, I know I said it would only be a week before I got to the next video. Unfortunately, weather has not been permitting. Today's a little better. It is freezing damn cold today though. The wind's a little bit up too, so I apologize if I get close here and it starts to make some noise. Cars aren't clean, obviously. The weather's been not great. But let's just get right into this. The issue that I've been noticing with the Accord now, at 15,000 miles on it, is that the paint, like all newer cars, is pretty soft and it chips pretty easy, and you can get in on it right there. This one there, they're all over the place. Right there. And it happened pretty fast. I mean, literally within the first couple of weeks I was driving, I was already noticing chips. And that's to be, I guess, expected on newer cars. I think that Honda makes the best looking factory wheels right now. You know, next, I think Mazda makes pretty nice ones too, but as far as not being 19s or 20s, these are 18-inch rims. Very stylish. No, actually, it's not even brushed, it's painted, but they're aluminum rims. And then on the inside, this is something that I really like that they've started doing. That's zinc coating the brake calipers now. I was a bit upset though that this car didn't come with Michelin tires. In the first run of these cars, they all came with Michelin. They switched over to Goodyear halfway through. On the Camry, I was able to get Michelin tires. At first I was kind of upset about it, but now that I've seen how the Michelins have been wearing on the Camry, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because they get really hard really fast, and they squeal really bad on when you corner the car. So, and I've heard people complain about that with the Accord as well. So, and overall, I think it makes me happier with the Goodyear tires. Styling the car is good. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like chrome, but I like the little chrome bits here. I like the handles, the way they look. All the seams look really good. I did notice that, you know, fit finish is just not what it used to be. You can see that it's a little higher than that one. Even where creases come together, they're just not as good as they used to be. I mean, you can see where the lip, it doesn't sit flush, but I'm willing to overlook those things. I've been noticing as well that the overhang on the cars has gotten a lot longer. I mean, you look at how much that overhang leans over, and if you hit a curb wrong, well, you'll see on the Camry, but this one did too. I made the mistake of letting my neighbor look at the car, and he wanted to take it for a test drive. Well, he pulled it down over at the bottom of that curb and dropped it off the edge of the curb, and yeah, now that bumper pops out, and if you look under here, it's scraped all right here. So my fault for letting someone else drive my car. I wouldn't suggest anyone else do that either. So anyways, we'll continue through it. The car sits, comparatively speaking, to the Camry a little bit lower in stance than the Camry. Actually, that makes the Camry have better visibility. The finish work on the Sport Accord is nicer. I like the chrome exhaust tips. One thing I did hear about these is that they're screwed on. These are not welded on. So if a thief wanted to come along and unscrew that, he could literally come and steal your exhaust finishers. That's not cool. So on the Camry, on the other hand, it's welded on there. You can't take it. You can't get it off. On the inside here, you'll see that nothing spectacular. It's plastic on the inside, what you would expect. It's more like it's kind of weird. It's kind of a cloth material. And I noticed the same thing. It's to save weight, I know, and probably cost as well. But this material doesn't feel like it's going to last. I mean, it feels like carpet material almost. And it's the same material used on the Camry. So at first I saw it on the Camry and I thought, oh, that's cheap looking. But then I realized they're using it as well. So I guess it's just a thing that they're doing. One of the things I will complain about is the gas filler cover. I'll open that right now and show you what I'm talking about. I mean, like I've said before, I understand you need to save money somewhere, but sometimes it feels like this was the wrong place. First time I put gas in this car, I actually was quite surprised. This is so freaking flimsy. Like when you open it, it does not feel like a quality piece. And then when you take this off, you'll see it just the whole gas, it just feels really, really cheap. And I don't know, I guess, and I came from a Camry, so it wasn't like I came from a nice car or anything. Most people haven't figured that out yet either, that you can hang it right there. But it's really, really thin gauge steel, and I don't know, it just, even like the writing on here, it looks dirty. I know it's just because it's not pure white, but I don't know, it just, this whole thing stinks of not not being a quality piece. You'll see the same thing I complained on the other side, where these chrome bits don't come together right, and also where the door just sits a little higher on the front doors than the back doors. I mean, all the other seams are pretty good. This seam is considerably larger than the one in the back, which I find kind of odd. I know that when I bought my car, that during that part of the year they were just pumping cars out, so I know that I think that they kind of forgot a little bit about quality a little more because they had to get the cars out, but it is what it is. So like I say, there's inconsistencies in the gaps. I mean, right here, that's a tighter gap than when you get to right here. So not huge difference, but there is a difference here, is what it is. I mean, there is a bit of a cool piece here on the inside of the mirror where this line is. It actually has a magnifier, so you can kind of get a better view of your blind spot. So that's a plus. This piece feels a little cheesy. It's just certain materials don't feel as high quality as you would expect them to. Like all new cars as well, orange peel is a huge factor. The reflection, you can see it, and that's unfortunately all cars. I mean, the Camry's the same way. They just have a ton of orange peel on them. They're just pumping these cars out. So, and then see, even this gap is different than the ones in the door. So it's just weird. I find it odd that all the gaps are kind of different. Usually they're more uniform between different body parts, but on this car they're really not. So 15,000 miles. I have to say I'm very happy with it. Like I said, the overhang on the front bothers me, but that's the same thing with the Camry. I guess on here you get a matte finish on this material right here, but on the higher end cars you get a gloss finish, which I probably would have preferred a gloss finish versus this. You can actually buy these covers, and they're not that expensive to replace them and make it look like a little nicer. So as far as everything else goes, I mean, I think that's pretty much what I want to talk about. I don't want to be so fast on this video, but it is freezing out here. So let's see, if you guys have any questions, make sure to respond. On the sport package, I will go over that. You do get the fog lamps, you get the blacked out lenses, and you obviously upgrade to the 18-inch rims. These are 18, I think they're 55s, 1845, 235s. So they're pretty fat tires. So it does help with the handling. But I did notice that if you peel this car out, that it has pretty bad wheel hop. It doesn't set the wheels down real well, and that's obviously because of McPherson struts. So let's go over the Camry. I noticed something right at the bat, and that is it's pretty solid. The Camry feels a little more solid, especially up front. It just feels a little more solid. The lower pieces I know are always gonna sound like that. They're not gonna, but the Camry's up to 27,000 miles. A lot of the parts feel a little more solid. Not better. I'm not by no means saying that they're better, but they do feel more solid. It's obvious just looking at the different parts in the car that everyone uses the same suppliers, because like I showed you, certain parts in the inside look very similar. What has happened with this car though is like I told you, a large overlap has happened, and that caused this to bottom out here, and then of course pop this whole piece out right here. There's a protector that was added aftermarket, and that popped out as well. So that seems to happen a lot. I mean, I don't know what they can do to try to mitigate that, but I have two cars it's happened to now, so it's a common issue. So anyway, so let's go back to here, the rims. Not as high quality at all compared to the Honda. I think the Honda has much nicer rims. These are just regular old painted aluminum rims. They also have the zinc coated brake calipers, which is, like I said, very nice feature. Plastic on the inside of the skirts here. On the front and the back it has that cloth material. Like I said, I think that's there more for sound reduction, but as far as longevity goes, I don't think that's going to help longevity. So let's move on. Like I said, the car sits a little higher than the Accord, which like I said, gives you better visibility. I like this piece better than on this one than I like on the Accord. And you can see because it's inset more, and it actually feels like a better material than this. This feels, you can hear it. You can hear the difference. It's a better material there. And then you get only a matte finish on here. And I'm just not fond of this matte finish when they put it there. I understand they're trying to make the window look like one piece, but not a big fan of it. A lot of people like the painted door handles. I don't like them. They scratch really easy, and it puts scratches on the inside here versus the chrome. I think has better longevity. It lasts longer. It even feels better. It's a better handle. These handles are smaller. You can see I have a pretty large hand, but it doesn't fit as tight. It fits tighter in there. I have a little more room on this one, so I like the bigger handles. I think that's a big plus towards the Honda. Same thing in the back. Those handles are the same size. Now, seams are smaller. They're tighter, and they're, I think, more consistent. On the Camry, you can see they're smaller. Let's go back over here. You can see it's a little larger, and they're more consistent. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to say Toyota has a more quality product, because I don't think they do. I mean, I think that they have a more solid product, but I don't think it's a better product. Now, see, same thing, smooth. They're just consistent. I mean, even the door where it comes together, that's like dead nuts. Not like the Honda's a little off. This one's pretty dead nuts all the way around. So I like that better. Gas cap cover is let's go ahead and open that up. I know this is like stupid to talk about, but it's a better piece. This is not much better, but I think it's better than the one that's on the Accord. The one on the Accord, you immediately get to feel like you're gonna break it, and that's never a good feeling on a new car. So as far as paint quality goes, Toyota, I think, ranks towards the bottom. We're already noticing paint issues on this car. I haven't had it, obviously, like a little over a year and a half. So already, like, you know, any little thing that happens seems to leave a scratch. Obviously, being silver, it doesn't show as badly. Cars are dirty, obviously, but that's always an issue with me. I don't like seeing that kind of stuff happen. So let's just take a couple perspective views here. The Accord's a little sideways there, but that's perspective wise. The Toyota looks wider, but it's not. It's just proportions of the car, the way that it's shot. So the way it sits makes it look that way. You only get a single exhaust versus a dual exhaust. It doesn't make any difference performance-wise, really, in real terms. But yeah, the Honda looks like a smaller car versus the Camry looking like a bigger car. So let's go back to the front again and take a look that way. And as far as how the cars actually look, I mean, it's up to people's opinion what they like and what they don't like. I think the Accord is a more attractive car. Not the most attractive, but it's more attractive than the Camry. The Camry is a solid car, so either way you go, you're going to get a good car. So it's up to you. We're going to come back with a third part that's going to go inside the cars, and hopefully the weather gets permitting, we'll get better, and I'll be able to give you guys a better video for the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys. We'll talk to you guys soon.